Hi, I'm John Atack,
I'm Sam Atack.
and today we're going to talk about the difference between a teacher and a guru.
Hmm.
Now, the word guru is, I believe, Sanskrit in its origin. It's an Indian word, and it became very popular in the 60s and 70s, this idea of having a guru. Now, if you look to, say, Indian music, the way that it is taught is that you have a family and they are within the caste of musicians, of course, which we have a little bit of a problem with, but it does mean that they, from an early age, the age of about 3 or 4, in fact, children within the family will start to learn the basic system. The idea within the Indian household is that the oldest male is the head of the household, and you do as you're told.
Oh.
So that would suit you, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I like doing what I'm told.
It's about time you did.
Yeah.
There's a first time for everything.
That's right.
That's not actually true, you know. There are many things for which there will never be a first time.
So knowledge is passed from one person to another, basically. It doesn't flow in both directions.
Yeah. And you can get to the situation in an Indian household where you have a 90-year-old guy who might not be all there, who's nonetheless, he has complete control over everyone in the household. So you have a traditional system that's persisted for many centuries, millennia possibly. And this, in a musical family, means that all of the kids will learn. They'll, in fact, first of all, learn how to sing, and they'll learn the beat systems, and then they'll go to a particular instrument, and the idea is the whole family. And you can see how that functions. That it's like the old Renaissance system of apprenticeship among the painters. That Leonardo da Vinci, for example, was a pupil as a teenager to, I think it was Fra Angelico, the brother Angelico. And he learned stuff from there. And the idea is that you pay complete obedience to this figure, who's the father figure, the parent. And we are kind of looking at something that maybe differs in Western and Eastern thought. And I think maybe is better in Western thought. The idea that somebody who knows how to do something teaches it, the guru, that's quite a good idea. I think we quite often find people who don't know how to do something teaching it, and that's called a cult.
But the school system.
It certainly can get that way. So we've talked before in talking about teacher training and talking about education, we talked about Matthew Lipman. And he's one of many modern educationalists who doesn't believe in the guru system. He believes that a teacher should be receptive to information from the pupil.
Yeah.
And we've often talked about a community of learning, therefore. So the difference would be something like this. A guru is somebody that you cannot challenge.
Yeah.
When it comes to religious systems, in Christian systems, monks will take vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. The same is true in the Buddhist system. Pretty much the same things: poverty, chastity, obedience. Though chastity is a bit of a problem in the New Kadampa tradition and a bit of a problem in the Friends of the Western Buddhist Order as well. So we don't recommend those. If you actually want a true Buddhist experience, those aren't the places to go. Poverty, chastity, obedience, you make a vow for those things. And the vow of obedience is the guru vow.
Yeah.
So even if you think that what you're being told to do is wrong, you have to do it because you've taken a vow, you've taken an oath to do it.
Yeah, like the German generals under the Nazis.
Exactly.
Following through because they've taken a vow.
Yeah, the Prussian soldiery who, once they'd given their word, that was it. My word is my bond. An Englishman's home is his castle. No, hang on. This notion of fealty, loyalty, and a differentiation happened in law. It was underlined in law at Nuremberg, where when one war criminal after another came forward and said, Befehl ist Befehl.
Hmm.
Orders are orders. I was just doing as I was told. It was decided that this needed to be a principle in international law, that it doesn't matter what the law says. If you violate a fundamental human right on behalf of the law, even if you're a policeman and you do this, even if you're a judge and you do this, then you've broken the law. I believe there was a case where this, I should find out about these things before I talk about them, but heck, why change the habit of a lifetime? There was a case where a Russian jumped from a Russian ship and swam to an American ship and was taken aboard, and the American captain returned him to the Russian ship. And the American captain was later basically found guilty of an offence, in that while you could interpret the way he was escaping and he was returned, he was saying that he was escaping and his rights were being violated. So that is to say that I feel that we each have a responsibility, and while it may be true for a 4-year-old learning to play tabla, that they do need to follow their lessons and do as they're told. As you approach the age of 18, and I'd like to remind you, you are approaching the age of 18. Oh, wow. You should be given more and more responsibility for yourself, and you should be held more and more responsible for your actions up to the point where you become an adult somewhere around the age of 84. And that the idea of the guru, the idea of submission to another human being, letting them run your life and tell you what to do, is a primary mistake.
Yeah, it can very easily become authoritarian too.
It is authoritarian, isn't it? So we teach non-gurudom, which is why I absolutely welcome corrections to any errors of fact in these little talks, and why we consider ourselves part of a community of learning rather than bosses who can tell you what to do. Anything you'd like to add to that, do you think? I've got a cup of tea here, actually.
Oh, nice.
So it's not ordinary. It's not ordinary tea. It's rooibos. It's TikTok organic rooibos tea. It's very good. It has no caffeine in it. Sponsored by John Atack and Sam Atack.
Yeah.
Every now and then somebody will amiably refer to me as a guru because I have too much information in my head. But as has been demonstrated in the comment sections of these videos, I do make mistakes. I mistakenly thought that the Mahayana tradition of Buddhism had taken over from the Theravadan tradition of Buddhism in what used to be called Indochina and what used to be called Burma, Myanmar, and Thailand, particularly Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam. And I was wrong, and I'm sorry about that. In a guru system, we would just correct it so that I was right.
Yeah, all along.
Somebody else had made a mistake.
Yeah, that's right.
And the guru system is authoritarianism. We don't like it. And if you want to do it, then you'll have to do it somewhere else. Thank you very much. I'm John Atack.
I'm Sam Atack.